everybody, my name's Conor McGilligan. This is One Leeds. Welcome back to the latest video. This video, as always, is sponsored by Shop GNO, The Job Match Group, and Match Bingo. Let's get into it. First up, The Job Match Group. Whether you're looking for your next big gig or just browsing, The Job Match Group has niche job sites made just for you. F1, retail, security, and loads more. They're about matching the right person to the right job. Make sure you check them out if you're ready to level up your career. Then we've got Shop GNO, an exciting new e-commerce site where you can grab exclusive deals and discounts. Right now, One Leeds has an affiliate link just below where you can score a 25 quid membership for free, unlocking special rates and benefits. You can even list your own shop on there with way better rates than Amazon, eBay, and Vinted. They've got some Leeds bits and some general bits now and launching soon, plus some great prizes just for signing up. This is all powered by a massive Leeds United fan looking to make waves in the online shopping world. So check them out and support your local. And don't forget our mates at Match Bingo. They're smashing it with footy fun. You can get 5 bingo cards for the price of 4 through One Leeds, and you can even deposit just a £5 at a time to join the action. It's a big chance to win whilst having a blast with your fellow Leeds United friends. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Check the links in the description, and let's get on with the video. Hello, everybody. My name's Conor McGilligan. This is the Rumour Mill. Welcome back. There was an exodus over the weekend. I exited stage right, but don't worry. I am back here now. It is your One Leeds supplement. It is your transfer news daily. What is going on in your world? I hope you're all doing fantastically well. Today, we've got rumours. We've got where on earth are certain players. We've got speculative bits to discuss. And, of course, that D-word discussion, debate, and discourse in this video. Not everything we speak about on the Rumour Mill is confirmation or consolidation led. We like to discuss football over here, everybody. If you like an extension, another arm of Conor McGilligan, speaking in third person, you can check out my second channel, everybody. We've got a video coming out later on today, I think, with a guest that you all like and love. So make sure you check that out as well. A little bit of a fun video as well. We're doing some really good things over there, nearly on 300 away from 6,000, but what an achievement in about 2 months. So thank you so much for your ongoing support over there, everybody. And I will do a little call to action. Please make sure you're slapping a like on the video, everybody. Please make sure you are subscribed and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. After this will be on Apple Podcasts. This will be on Spotify, Deezer. Do people use Deezer anymore? But you can do. And also, there will be timestamps applied in the section below. Some of you, I know you've got busy schedules. You can't listen to the whole show, even though you should be doing. But you cannot listen to the whole show. So little chapters in the section below as well that you can click on to check out our sponsors, as always, doing a fantastic job. Shout out the Pet Factory as well, who've listed their fantastic job site on Shop GNO. We've got big things coming. You can become a member free through One Leeds. Make sure you're hitting the link in the description below for that, everybody. You get bonus rewards, bits, etc., for signing up for that job match group as well, for all of your tailored needs when it comes to applying for a job better than Indeed and Monster. Okay, let's get into it, shall we? Morning, Connor. Hello, Knox. How's it going, mate? What's going on? Seeing you a lot in the building. It's weird, isn't it? It's strange when I've not been here. It's like, where have they all gone? I do these like pre-recorded videos and it's just not the same, is it? It's just not the same. Morning, Connor. How's it going, mate? Yellow. Morning. I think a lot of you are on holiday, which explains a lot. Morning. Hello. That is me. There we go. I was thinking, has someone just doxed my account there? Good morning, mate. How's it going? Hello. What's up, people? What's on the agenda for today? We've got bits and bats coming, mate. Don't worry, we've got bits and bats. I want to get your thoughts in the comment section below as well on everything. Leeds United Cops in the building. Shout out to you, my friend. How's it going? Sammy's in the building, my Florence friend. Shout out to you, Sammy. What's going on, mate? Let's have a little bit of a tracker on how many of you are in the building this morning. I always like doing this. I like seeing how many of you are here and shouting you out as well. So we have how many of you in the building? Let's have a little look. We've got 500 watching on YouTube, everybody. Let's make sure we rack up those as well. It's an unusual time for us, but I'm sure we'll get more in during the stream as well. How we doing, mate? All good, Tom? All good? Yeah, thank you. Evening from Hong Kong. Shout out to you. Nick's in the building saying morning from Adelaide. Love your updates. Love you too, Nick. Morning, Connor. How was the trip back to the dark side? Martin, it was better this morning, mate. The train system in this country is a joke. It's an absolute joke, right? So basically, I shouldn't be telling you this. My car is done, right? Finito. Sold to the scrap heap. Okay. So we are carless at this moment in time. You don't realize how difficult things start to become when you're just using the train system all the time. It is a nightmare, not cost effective either. I was like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's fine. And then the last 3 times I've come back from sunny old Yorkshire, it is being delay, 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 delay. 2 weekends ago, we were stuck at Bradford interchange for an hour because the track was too hot. What goes on in this country? We just have a literal meltdown when weather changes. We can't function as a country when the weather is different in the UK. It's absolutely mental. If it's too cold, things break down. If it's too hot, things break down. If it's in the middle, things struggle. My goodness. Kirsch in the building. Hi, mate. Kyriakos. Hi, Connor from Greece. How's it going? Kyriakos Island in the building. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, my lovely. Should we get into it? Should we get into it? Crowdfund Connor a car. Do not do that, mate. Do not crowdfund me a car, but I do need a car. Flipping it, Connor. Okay, Jaka Bijol. Where the ruddy heck is this man? Where shall we start a GoFundMe account to find this man? Where could he be? Where's Jaka? Does anybody know? Has anybody seen him? Flipping heck. No, listen, guys. I just want to sort of get the temperature on this one, but I also just want to calm everyone down. We mentioned that Spanish word tranquillo every single time on the stream. I am not bothered about this whatsoever because Fabrizio's confirmed it. All the top dogs have confirmed it. Graham has confirmed it. Everybody's confirmed it. What we now do in this social media world is build everything up as a package. From someone who worked in the social media world for around about 3 to 4 years and the journalism world and the digital zone, obviously, everything is almost packaged video wise and audio wise. That is more important than the actual announcement. The marketing and advertising of these things nowadays are bigger than the actual signing. So Leeds, obviously, it's their first big marquee signing of the Premier League campaign. Obviously, the first monetary outgoing as well. Obviously, Nemecha came in, but it was on a free deal. And Leeds, it was kind of like a bit of a statement, wasn't it? They did a few pictures and stuff like that, but it wasn't really a big announcement. I think Yaka's going to be a massive announcement for Leeds, obviously beating other clubs to the signature of him, around Europe and obviously domestically. So I wouldn't worry, guys. I think Romano is as good as it gets nowadays. Him and Ornstein are top of the pile. They get way more right, as well as what they report on. They report on about 400 stories a day. 95% of them are correct. Jaka Bijol is a Leeds player now. We're all aware of it. It's come from the Slovenian side. It's come from the Italian side. It's come from all the top journalists. Just because Leeds haven't announced it yet, don't get your knickers in a twist. It is, I can tell you, it is fine. Tranquillo, tranquillo, tranquillo. I understand the Leeds United way. It goes back to Dan James saga, but that was a long time ago under a previous regime, and the circumstances around that were ridiculous. Swansea owner not picking up the phone for whatever reason after agreeing a deal. So, yes, I wouldn't worry about that at all. I'm not worried about it whatsoever. And we will be extensively talking about probably one of the signings of the window very soon. So I wouldn't worry about that, to be honest with you. Okay, let's have a go. He's in Mykonos. There we go. Bijol on his honeymoon. There we go. Fantastic. Look at you guys hitting here with the tracker. Slightly weird, but you all know he's on his honeymoon. Do you know where he is? Cole says, "Why can't he have his honeymoon in Leeds in Gravely's his class?" That's exactly right. So yeah, maybe we're finding a little bit out, maybe about Yaka's committed nature. Should he be in the Peacock celebrating with champagne, beers, and ice and all that sort of stuff, and then just having his food, his munch in Gravely's, having a nice little a shopping trip down to the White Rose? Do you know what I mean? It's all in a small little circuit, isn't it? Selfish Jaka Bijol. Get rid of him, terminate his contract. But yeah, if he's on his honeymoon, give the man a break. He had his wedding, then his honeymoon. Obviously, it kind of simultaneously follows one another if you can afford it nowadays, because weddings are extremely expensive. Evening, Connor. Hello, hello, hello. What's going on? Don't forget Max Aarons. That is another one. Yeah, Leeds United need 25 new players. Elmi, I would listen. It'd be great for the rumor mill, mate. It'd be fantastic for views, but yes, mate, 25 new players would keep us busy over here, wouldn't it? It'd keep them busy at Ellen Road as well. Probably announced on the 1st of July. That was an opinion piece, Mr. DV, because Nemecha was obviously announced before that as well. I think officially it's a signing by the 1st, but they can be announced before that, my friend. Come on, Leeds, indeed. Right. Seen this on the airwaves this morning. It's probably the most popular one that we've seen. Oscar Gloukh, Salzburg, central attacking midfielder, inside forward. Daniel Farke, apparently behind the scenes, still wants a number 10, albeit I'm not sure there is that many number 10s in the Premier League anymore. More of eights. I think they're just all round midfielders nowadays. So that's what's been rumoured anyway, that Farke does still want a 10. Oscar Gloukh looks very nice on the ball, technical footballer. Looks like he's got really good sort of, he would work very, very nicely in a press, very dynamic, fits very well into what would be a counter-attacking transitional style under Daniel Farke, works very well in a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. Looks like he'd be a nice signing. Looks like he'd be a nice signing. A couple of people have messaged me about this and tagged me in a post this morning about this one. Now, the key caveat is he plays for Salzburg. Now, a player who requires space and rhythm, which Gloukh is, and he plays for Salzburg. Who does this remind you of? But no, is this something I would be going for straight off the bat? No. Why, Connor? You're not even giving him a chance. I think the criteria for Leeds United this season and this window, because it's so ruthless, because of the caliber of player that we need right now. You look at West Ham, who are rumored to be interested, Everton, who are rumored to be interested. I think that's rubbish. I don't think that's correct. To be honest with you, I think it is just agent talk. He's only 21 years of age. It doesn't make a lot of sense when you're looking at the top five leagues. Now he's a luxury player, looks very elegant. As I say, I think he needs a little bit of space to be able to work his magic. For me, this makes no sense. I would be staying away from this one. You need players in the top five leagues to be sustenance in and around that squad. The adaptability for someone like Gloukh coming into this side would be potentially 6 to 12 months. I think it's a massive risk. 20 million quid as well, 20 million euros, I should say. Stay absolutely well aware, away from it. I think the risks have to be really calculated by Leeds United in this window. I understand building up the squad. I understand building up that bench 100%. I'm a big sort of advocator of that. I think just focusing, you guys know that we've said on the show multiple times that we can't just be doing Leeds United's starting 11. This needs to be a process where we are bringing in 8 or 9 players minimum. Genuinely, that's how I feel with the players going out, the players that are going to be gone via PSR, and the general squad building that needs to happen with this team. That if we were promoted and playing right now, we'd get automatically relegated when we're not good enough. You need to build that squad. You need to build it when it comes to caliber, quality, mentality. Someone like Oscar Gloukh coming in for that price is a massive risk. And I think, the rumours this morning are suggesting there's a link between Leeds and Salzburg, obviously. I understand it. Could it be agent talk? I think it might be. But if Leeds are to target someone like this for that sort of money, where potentially you could get 2 players in for that value, if you're really scouting well, and like we've mentioned before, we know this is a creative player who costs more money, costs more money normally in the market. But when you are going for a player who has the caliber level of someone like Jaka Bijol for below 20 million quid, that is unbelievable recruitment. It's absolutely excellent recruitment. So for me, they are the deals that you need to be targeting. That is the level that you need to be looking at. And Oscar Gloukh, for me, will be a real risk, a massive risk. And Leeds are not in the business right now of risking, As we mentioned previously, when we risked before with your Rodrigos, with your Aronsons, with your Llorentes, with the amount that were outputting for these players, Llorente came in at 18 million, Aronson was 25. You look at DJ was 25 as well. Rodrigo, 30 million quid. All of that money encompassed. You got to think the risk versus reward in these signings. And there was a lot of risk there. A lot of them I don't think worked, to be quite honest with you. And at Premier League level, there's even the question about DJ still right now. So Leeds have got to be very, very Leeds have got to work in a very methodical way in this window. We cannot be taking too many risks. I think the Nemecha signing is a risk worth taking because he's a profile of which has played in the top 5 leagues literally last season. And I think that makes a lot of sense. A lot of potential there, an upward trajectory, only 26 years of age, low wage, two-year contract, completely makes sense. Someone like this doesn't make sense whatsoever. And you're going to have to put him on a big contract with his age as well in terms of longevity. Morning, Loaf. How's it going? Morning, Connor. Hello, everybody. We need physical players. I agree, mate. I agree. Hi, Connor. Keep up the cracking work, mate. Thank you, Graham Smith. Really appreciate it, mate. Really appreciate it, though. Oscar Gloukh is a really talented attacking midfielder. Would love him. Fair enough, mate. Go get Hamer for that price. Nah, not for me. Austrian League players don't do well in the Premiership. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at. It's like you've got a player there who's, like Kim said, is talented, is a luxury player, needs space to cultivate any sort of rhythm. But right now, we've mentioned several times that I think the level difference, the Belgian Pro League is the Championship, in my opinion. That's the level. I think the Dutch league is just a tiny bit higher because of the caliber of teams that maybe are in the mid-region, sort of Utrecht, AZ Alkmaar, etc. And then obviously you've got your upper echelon team, PSV, Ajax, Feyenoord. But I think the Pro League is very similar in terms of caliber to the Championship. I'd say the Austrian League is maybe 1 or 2 levels below that as well. So that's kind of how you've got to look at it, in my personal opinion. That is a very risky signing. A very risky signing for the amount we'd have to pay for him, for me. Chris Kingy says, just jumped in, have we signed a Rockadair? Yeah, I'd immediately say no to this guy, 5 million max. We haven't, Chris. I know you're big on him, mate. And we did mention it, mate. Good minds think alike. There is no such thing as a sure thing, though, Connor. I'd like to see a few young bench options. I'd like to see a few young bench options with a good experienced first team or 11. Elmi says, going to see Leeds Man United in Stockholm, Sweden, 19th of July. Very risky, my friend. Very risky going and doing that. You don't want to, ill batter your mental health already, mate. We're not even stuck in the season yet. We've done our risk with Nemecha, and that's kind of how I see it. And this is kind of the formulaic style that we like to do these room mills with. We like to intertwine some of the 3Ds, discourse, discussion, and debate in here. I don't want it just to be rumor mill and kind of a bit formulaic in that respect. I want you guys to be able to get your opinions in here and me to respond, whatever they are, and we can cultivate a real nice environment here. So for me, it just isn't worth the risk. Not physical enough, and we need that. The big thing, guys, for me, is the physicality and the speed, which is that level up. The physicality and the speed of this division is on another level to even what it was under Bielsa. Even what it was under Bielsa was acclimatizing, because that will never happen again. You'll never get a Chris Wilder Sheffield United. You will never get a Leeds United Marcelo Bielsa. It'll never happen again. So that speaks about the issues with the pyramid, but it also, talks up the level of which the Premier League is at right now, and with the 6 sides coming up and then coming straight back down, it just means that those 17 have got more and more powerful, even over the last 24 months. NFFC says, yes, sorry, I've been away, life taken over. Hope you're well. Love your content, mate. It's great to see how next season goes. You'll be fine. Home advantage, so good. And even your away fans, always great. Always lovely to see you on here, NFFC. Big supporter of Leeds United. Dominic says, Connor, I was starting to have withdrawal symptoms. No Connor at 10 a.m. makes me sad. I know, man. I've got the routine now, mate. Don't worry. We're back. Italy under 21s are annoying me, everyone. They're annoying me. Willy Gnonto saw red last night in a bizarre decision. I want to shout out as well Brendan Aronson, who scored last night against Haiti for the US men's national team. I believe that's 2-2 for Brendan. Well done. But they're starting to annoy me a bit, the Italian under 21 side. Just his development. I can't understand why the Italian under 21s are playing Willy Gnonto as a striker. Now, as an inside forward, as a false 9, I get it at points centrally, and as a cam, we all know about that. But he's been used as a striker. Willy Gnonto was recorded for Leeds United at a point when we were in the Premier League last time as being a striker and the shortest ever striker at 5'5". So I know he can, shortest ever Premier League striker, that is, by the way. So I know he can work across that line. Jermaine Defoe was really praising him last night as well, saying how fast he is and how good he is in transition. But he went in for a tackle last night. It's never a red card. Never a red card. Just sometimes these referees, swear to God, they make it all about themselves. It's never a red card at all. Gets given it, and I was watched a little bit of a highlight package during this morning, and the thing that stood out to me is why he's even played there, and I just don't think it aids his development whatsoever, to be honest with you. Never a red card, 100%, mate. We will get into James Trafford in just a little bit. Cole Foster says, I don't like how quiet the rumours of GK have got. Well, they're not at this moment in time, mate. So that's good. Any news on outgoings? We have got some bits coming up, mate. Don't worry about that. And let's move on to your other bit, everybody. Right. And also, Crixer says Willie has scored as a striker and he can play that. He can play there, mate. I just don't think it aids his development when there's positions in that Italian front four of which he can play and which would be more advantageous to him, albeit on that left-hand side where it is his best position. And he's played for the Italian under 21s and done well for the under 21s as well. Yeah, he can play as a striker. You know, I used to be able to play as a left back when I was a footballer as well. Doesn't mean I was the best there. So yeah, for me, it's not one I would be you know, it's not something I'll be exercising if I'm the Italian under 21s for his development long term for me. Okay, Matteo. Dan, we'll get onto your super chat in a sec, mate. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Dan Pollard, a massive supporter of the channel, top man. Matteo Joseph. Apparently, there, according to reports out of Spain this morning, Dario Sevilla are reporting that apparently there is a little bit of problems between Leeds United and Real Betis when it comes to the valuation of the striker. Betis want to get him for 6.75 million. Leeds want to sell him for 8.5. Yes. So we all know that Betis had an offer rejected in January for 10 million quid. And it looks like the valuation from both sides is maybe a little bit lower this time. Conflicting reports say it was 10 million euros. Other reports are saying that it was 10 million quid that Betis offered in January. So obviously there is a little bit of issues there when it comes to a price difference. So yeah, I mean, I think this is by the by, really, when it comes to Matteo Joseph. I think we all know he's going to go this year. I think Matteo's spoken about it in terms of the minutes that he wanted, in terms of effectively feeling a little bit let down last season. This guy gets, I've mentioned this a lot before. I think this guy gets flack for the most bizarre reasons. He is a young lad. It really confuses me with some Leeds fans with this kid. He's 21, and the amount of stuff he gets, you know, name calling, it's completely bizarre. And you do feel sorry for him because he's a young lad who will be on social media, and is well aware of what goes on. I don't understand it. I think he's maybe symptomatic. I've said this before. And Joseph's in an unfortunate position where it feels like he was, because of the controversy earlier on in the season, should he be starting, should he not be starting? I think it's a bigger thing when it comes to Joseph. This isn't about Matteo Joseph. He's just effectively symbolic from people who are trying to drive the Farker in, Farker out sort of thing. A lot of the Farker outers were saying Joseph should have been starting. Farker didn't keep enough, keep him enough strength with him in terms of backing a young player who he started with at the beginning of the season. Farker inners say, which I think is bizarre that there are Farker out and Farker in when we're, the manager is the manager now for the foreseeable. It's a silly conversation. But I think there's a lot of context around Matteo Joseph and why people are like they are with him. I understand people don't think he's maybe the level of what he should be, but the noise around him for a first season in the championship, I've found this season completely bizarre. But the Farker inners are very much like, he should have been taken out. Peru should have been playing. Look at the golden boot. Joseph's rubbish. Get rid of him. And it's bizarre. There's no middle ground. So we try on this channel to provide a bit of a middle ground with it. I think when it comes to Matteo, he is a young player. I backed him throughout the season because he's a young lad. I think he's got all the attributes that can fit and transition into the top league of English football. I think there is a player in there which, when harnessed in certain aspects, when it comes to maybe his finishing, his composure in front of goal, I think there's a player physically and athletically who can, in time, be a really decent player. And that's why I will be sending him out on loan, and then I will be getting him back. That's what I would personally do. I think Leeds can work around the PSR restraints with the players that we've got and the players that we can offload. The attractive thing about Matteo Joseph is effectively it'll be pure profit, won't it, for a lot of it? So, but for 8.5 million quid, I would want a massive sell-on clause for Matteo, and I would 100% want a buyback option where Leeds can exercise that and be the first in line. So that's kind of where I'm at with Matteo. I think there is a player in there. I don't want to get rid of him. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to get rid of him. I think you maybe get rid of him. I think, if we're talking about that grey area, I think he started the season really well. I think when you look at I think it was like his first 8 starts, he had as many goal contributions as Peru, but Peru deserved to start. Peru definitely deserved to start, worked his way into the season, but you can say that and two things can be right. Matteo can be a player of which has got bags of potential Leeds need to keep hold of, or, you might think you need to get rid of him, but also Peru can, be the golden boot record holder for this season in the championship. That's absolutely fine. So, yeah, I think it's been a bizarre notion with Matteo this season. It's been very weird, but I would like to see him kept on Leeds United's books and us to work around the PSR restraints in other ways for me. Okay, Bamford right now would have a bigger impact off the bench than Joseph to the Premier League. In the Premier League, sad but true. Someone will be selling Joseph 50 million plus. It's either the club we sell to or us if he goes on loan with a decent manager. Okay. Joseph needs game time, just like Firpo did. Blame Farker for that. Send him out on loan, give him a chance to flourish. Joseph is our main man. Loan Joseph out for a season. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at with with it. And look, I completely understand. I completely get it that there's two sides to it. But I think, unfortunately, I think Joseph has hit a bit of a nerve this season, and it's been pretty toxic around him, I think, and it's very strange. But yeah, I backed him. I think he'll go on and he'll be, a decent. I think he'll go on and do well. I just think he needs that environment, and I don't think that's going to be at Leeds United this season. So maybe it is just a loan signing. Maybe it is. So we'll have to wait and see. Gav says, live stream while on dinner break. Cracking job, pal. Thanks so much, buddy. Really appreciate that. Knox says, I just aim for a big loan fee. And that's it. Knox, I think it's a sort of win-win for Leeds, to be honest with you, in that respect. And then next season, let's say worst case scenario, we go down. We can utilize him. Or he goes to Betis, scores a bag full, which you'd hope that would happen. I think the Spanish national side are hoping that as well. Betis will be hoping that as well, naturally. And then Leeds would be hoping that. He comes back, and then if whatever situation Leeds are in, Leeds might be able to sell him on for a decent fee. But I just don't think it's right. It just sends me back a little bit to Cresswell, where it got to a situation where there was a fair few Leeds fans just being like, because obviously Farker wasn't playing him at that moment in time, and there had been the stuff with his dad, and his dad effectively calling Farker out, allegedly. There was a fair few fans saying, just get rid of him, get rid of him, get rid of him. And it was very much like, okay, well, if we do get rid of him, let's work our way around this. I'm not saying Cresswell would have got in, of course I'm not, but to sell an England under 21 captain international throughout the ranks for £4 million is a joke. And if we were to do the same with Matteo Joseph, even for 8 million quid, you'd just be like, really, Leeds? Let's try capitalize on this if we can, for a bit of long-term gain. Bamford off the Scunthorpe. In regards to Joseph, I can see the same situation as Cresswell needs to be alone. Eric says Matteo is cooking and still developing. Loan him out, and he'll come back next season to bag us at least 15 goals. Yeah, man. Let's move on, shall we? Okay, Aaron Ramsdale. Now, reports this morning are suggesting that apparently there is a release clause that has been triggered for Aaron Ramsdale, and there are 3 clubs. I think Everton are involved in this as well. But there's Leeds, West Ham United, and Everton who are tracking this. Apparently Leeds may exercise that right to, go in with the release clause and get him. It's one of which, why would Leeds be going in for him? I think, look, he would want the move back up here. The why of it makes a lot of sense. Leeds are a massive club. Apparently Ramsdale likes Leeds as well. I can tell you that. So, it's not an ITK, but sometimes in this space, you're quite lucky to know of people who know certain players and all this sort of stuff. And Ramsdale likes Leeds. I think he likes the vibe, the environment. So it feels like that would be a very easy one to get done. Not for me. Just not for me. Paul Robinson came out yesterday and said that pay whatever it takes to get Aaron Ramsdale. He would be vital for Leeds United in a relegation. Just no, just do not do that. Just don't do it. Look, I think when you look at it, I think he's a bit of a flapper between the sticks. I'm not 100% sure he's reliable. I think his focus and his concentration, he's admitted, sends him AWOL sometimes when it comes to the big matches and the crowd. No, 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 no. That is not what we need. We do not need an emotionally led, adrenaline pumping goalkeeper. As much as we love that, that's great. If we're an established Premier League side, maybe we can go and get that sort of profile. Do not go and get that when you are fighting relegation in your first season, and 17th will be like a Champions League trophy. You just can't do it. You've got to get someone between the sticks who is going to have a high save percentage, someone who's going to be able to play, I think, direct football as well. I think there's better kickers out there than Aaron Ramsdale. And I think overall, there's better packages out there right now. And I believe I could name a fair few that are better than this guy. And I just hope we don't go down the obvious strand when it comes to Ramsdale. Now, look, let's provide a bit of balance. Aaron Ramsdale was on the England periphery. And a lot of people, when they were comparing Michael Cooper and why Sheffield United should get 30 million quid for Michael Cooper in comparison to Aaron Ramsdale, because obviously they sold him for the same amount and they think Cooper's a better goalkeeper than Ramsdale. I went to bat for Ramsdale. Ramsdale at that stage when Sheffield United sold him had 2 years of Premier League experience. He was on the England periphery when it came to squad. He was the third choice. He'd racked up a mass amount of experience in the top league, and he was still at a relatively young age there. Arsenal came in, and you don't get signed by Arsenal if you're a bad goalkeeper. It just doesn't happen. So that is the balance of it. But I just think there are goalkeepers out there right now that could really save Leeds United points. Really save Leeds United points. And I think there is maybe not an emotional led decision in going and getting Aaron Ramsdale, but I think there would be maybe if we were to go and get him, it wouldn't be as logistical as goalkeepers on the market, especially for what you'd pay for Aaron Ramsdale, which is a 20 million quid release clause. Southampton are fine to get rid as well at this moment in time. I think it would be maybe a little bit emotionally led in terms of Ramsdale effectively, you know what it's like, everybody fits the club. And I think maybe the ability would come afterwards. I think the ability would come secondary. I think just his personality would be the big signature point, and how he'd fit in with what Leeds United are. And I think he would in a sense. I think he'd be the fans would love him. He'd fit in. He'd be giving it the march on together all the time. He's that sort of goalkeeper. You've seen it at Bournemouth, Southampton, Arsenal, England. But I just think you want someone steady, calm, composed, calculated between the sticks, and get rid of all that, and let's just methodically get through this season for me. So the Times reporting this morning that yeah, Leeds are in for him, and that 20 million clause is now is effectively activated. So, guys, we're just gonna have a quick check before we get through the rest of the stream this morning. How many are in the building? We have 1,000 of you watching. I love you all so much. I love you all so much. I have the best subscribers. Honestly, I do. It is amazing. Any time of the day, swear to God, I could do this at 2 p.m. I could do this at 10 p.m. You will all come out in force. And I want to say a big cheers to all of you. Starbucks, if you want to sponsor the One Leadsers, and we'll give these out for free, sachets for free, maybe, to all of you who like the video. But I just want to say a big thank you to all of you. You're all absolutely cracking. Can we get 1,000 likes as well, everybody? That'd be unbelievable. You guys are smashing that like target. So thank you so much again for just being top, all of you. And I genuinely mean that. Dan, we're going to get into your super chat in just a bit, mate. Relegators now, if we sign Ramsdale, I wouldn't want him as a relegation keeper. Ramsdale has 3 Prem relegations. I don't count Serie A, says NFFC. So many great international keepers. Spain, France, German leagues have so many solid options. They do. Connor for president. You're a legend, says, oh, I love you all so much. Connor, when is the 24-hour stream? Probably on deadline day, mate. So like the 1st of September. But you guys have been just like a little bit of understanding what we've done this year, what you've done this year. I mentioned this last time, and I have to, because I always want to, when I do these streams, give you guys a bit of a shout out as well. But like 2 months ago, we got 1.3 million views in a month. Okay. 1.3 million views in a month. It's not dipped below like 850,000. Do you know what I mean? For a fair bit now. So you guys are just smashing it on. But so it's great that you're so engaged. I just want to give you guys props as well. So thank you so much. 2 a.m. Connor will be here. And I recognize all of you, honestly, all of you. So I just want to say that because we all do the rumors, we all have a bit of discussion, we all agree, we disagree, but I just want to give you guys the credit because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And you're all, I notice all of you, genuinely. I know you all by name a lot of the time as well. So, okay, let's move on, shall we? Shout out to all of you in the building. DJ, apparently he is looking to sign a 2-year deal with Leeds United. Bash. Now that is great. I'm happy with DJ. I think he, in terms of a meritocracy, we've said it on this channel before. If you perform for Leeds United, when it's a trickle-down effect, ownership, you've got to perform, managerially, you've got to perform, players, you've got to perform. Because at Leeds United, for a long time, we've not had standards, expectation, and a lot of the time caliber on the pitch. The standard and expectations are so high when it comes to this club, and we've not had that. There's been an absence of standards for a long, long time right now. Now, Dan James, when he's come down to the Championship, I was always and ahhing with Dan. I'll be honest with you. I've always and ahed with him. I think there is a specific style of football game which fits Dan James. I think a high line is perfect with Dan James. We saw that against Coventry in particular this season. That high line is beautiful with Dan James. The problem now is you've got so many defenders who have the recovery pace and won't give you that much space in and behind. That's a rarity for Dan James now. We saw in the Premier League under Ollie Solskjaer, he loved Dan James, didn't want to let him go to Leeds United, but it kind of worked, but didn't work for Dan at Man United. He was used as a bit of a meme. Obviously, then moved to Leeds United. We bought him for Man United's 4th highest sale in their history. A lot of us were a bit like, my goodness, we've got him a little bit late here, in terms of that trajectory from Swansea and the high that he was on and kind of the downward spiral he was on from Man United. And then obviously he went to Fulham, didn't he? On loan from Leeds, didn't really do anything there. I remember speaking for the Patreon, a Fulham fan at the time, and he just said, I don't think this guy's a Premier League player. Obviously, Man United weren't convinced on him either. Plenty of times he got called a Ferrari without a driver, and it didn't really work at Leeds either. Now, what I will say about DJ is he is bizarrely, he's almost like captain-like DJ. He's everyone's perfect player. The effort, the energy, the endeavor, the passion. He's a favorite. He's an absolute favorite for us all, and we all want him to do well because of what he gives for Leeds United. Now, what I will say as well, in the Championship, his level has gone up massively. I think his decision making has improved. I always used to criticize Dan James for having his head down consistently in front of goal, consistently. And the ball would balloon over the bar, and it would just be like, Dan, get your head up. Have a little bit of a, scan around, see what's happening. Are there better options on the right or on the left? Could you take an extra touch? Composure in front of goal was missing. And I do think we've seen a little bit of that this season. And would I be starting Dan James in the Premier League? Absolutely not. But I think as a bench option, you're not going to get much better. Is Sunderland going to be able to accrue a better bench option than that? Arguably the best. I mean, he's in the conversation right now for the Championship's best player, voted for by the players in the Championship. He's in the top 6, as is obviously Al Tanaka. If you've got someone like DJ on the bench, it's an unbelievable bit of your arsenal, your artillery, bringing him off the bench. And, in some games as well, if we do get a team who's going to be playing a high line, or Leeds are going to be working on that transition, which DJ gives us that option, especially if we've got a target man who encompasses a lot of the attributes that we've been speaking on the Room Mill for a while now. DJ is going to be involved in the game, and he's a nightmare for defenders. Why? Pace. That is it. The biggest nightmare for any defender is someone with pace. And DJ has that. He does need to refine a little bit, in my opinion, still to be a Premier League starter. He does 100%, because he's always going to get that comparison to Adama Traore all the time in terms of just being a pace merchant, not having much when it comes to calmness and composure. But, DJ, I think he's still got a lot of room, for improvement. And if he is to sign a 2-year contract, which is the rumor, I don't know why it's so short, but maybe it is. I don't mind that from Leeds either, because that'll take him to 29 years of age. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that front. We'll have to wait and see on that front. But I'm more than happy with him this season. I think his development has eclipsed that of Junior Firpo. Even though I've loved Junior this year, I think there's still elements to Junior's game of which I think he'll be gobbled up in the Premier League when it comes to a target, spatial awareness, positionally as well. I think DJ has refined his decision making to a level of which I can say, yeah, he's really improved his game in that respect, in an offensive respect. So, yeah, really happy with him. He'll be a massive option for Leeds United in the Premier League. Wouldn't be starting him, but that's fine. And you never know at points. I mean, I guess the question would be, will Farke start him? You know, that's the question, I guess. Marching on with Sean says DJ been screwed around by Leeds his whole time being here and never complained. Decided he doesn't want to play for the club, unlike some other players. Fair play, mate. Yep, don't disagree with you on that at fronts. Let's have a look. His pace can certainly be useful on the counter, especially after his quality has improved. 100%. Yep, 100%. Agree with you there. Let's have a go. DJ is rapid. DJ will cook in the Premier League. Stripper says, Connor, you need to split again. You said the team from over the Pennines twice, mate. Sorry. What will yeah, sometimes I catch myself doing it. The team from over the Pennines, the dark side of the Pennines, I will refer to them. You know, I can't go too harsh because I'll get demonetized. And yes, but yeah, thank you, mate. Thank you. Oiper with another flip to the coin here says Ramsdale will do the job. He's got the experience. Yes, maybe cheaper options out there, but we know what we're getting with Ramsdale. And what is that, Oiper? What do you think that is, mate? That'd be my question to you. Connor, you were right. A lot more quicker players in the Prem. How effective is DJ going to be? I think the big thing with him is going to be. I mean, you don't. This is what I mean. You don't see many teams playing with a really high line. You don't in the Premier League, and the recovery pace for some of the defenders. And we've got to bear in mind VAR is going to be a point of which we are going to be looking at. And DJ's offside quite a bit. And we all know that, especially when there's a line of which, you know, you likes of Liverpool. I know Brentford sometimes like to occupy it again, as well against the better teams, or when they're playing the three at the back, I should say. So yeah, you've got to really work that line well, especially with VAR rings. We're going to get a fair few goals if DJ's in behind, but the defense are going to be quite confident in the line, and they're going to know that DJ's offside. So he's got to be really clever and cute with his movement. Otherwise, they're just going to play him like the fiddle. And the recovery pace of some of these centre backs in the top division now is very decent, but also a lot of the time they don't need to utilize it because of them effectively using that line, you know, exceptionally well. Yo, Connor, how's it going, mate? As long as his wage isn't too high, it's okay. So Kirsch says, so you think a new right winger will come in? I do, Kirsch, yeah. Yeah. I do, mate. I do think another right winger will come in. Okay, let's move on. Oh, Leeds. Come on. Leeds. Okay, let's get into it. Dominoes. Does anybody like dominoes? Domino effect could be coming into play right now. And if you guys know what I mean, if you guys don't know what I mean, I should say, there is a few, and look, it's more of a discourse, there's no actual proper links here when it comes to it. But Leeds are interested, apparently. Now, as of around about 30 to 40 minutes ago, Newcastle have opened talk to sign James Trafford, 22 years old, valued at around 30 million quid. Reports heavily by several sources this morning. Burnley are preparing, like we've seen over the last couple of days, by signing Max Wies from Carl Rue for 4 million quid. They reckon there's another goalkeeper coming in as well. Now, we want to speak about the domino effect today. Now, if Trafford joins Newcastle, Pope becomes expendable, in my opinion. With Trafford in the fold, Newcastle may regard, with his contract being up in 2026, Nick Pope as surplus to requirements. Now, we heard earlier on in the window that Pope doesn't want to leave. I spoke to Lee Ryder of the Newcastle Chronicle. Lee said, I wouldn't take that as there's still a few bits to sort out right now. And that is exactly what, you know, initially I thought it would be. There's domino effects here. Things have to basically fall down for Leeds to then be able to look at someone like Nick Pope. Now, reports do suggest as well over in the northeast that Newcastle could use Pope as make weight or sell him on to recoup fees. Now, Leeds have been waiting in the wings when it comes to Pope. Now, especially that we're looking for that guaranteed number one position. Now, the summarized flow is obviously Burnley sign Vice, triggering Trafford to Newcastle. Trafford's move makes Pope redundant at Newcastle unless he's happy to sit on the bench because Trafford's not just going to be, rotated with Nick Pope. It just won't happen. Leeds can definitely then seize the opportunity to sign Pope as their number one, benefiting from this transfer chain. So I think if Trafford joins Newcastle, it could be a very good situation for Leeds United, not only in the fact that one of our rivals this season has been significantly weakened by their best player this season, Burnley and James Trafford, but then by the fact that Leeds United should do, I think, everything in their power to sign Nick Pope. And the reason behind that is because look, there's rumours we spoke about. Petrovic is now 30 million quid. Chelsea have slapped that fee on him. I think he's probably going to go to Strasbourg because obviously they're part of the Gloukh, which is the company, the group that links Chelsea and Strasbourg. They do business between each other. That I think there's probably going to be a possibility where Habib Diarra goes from Strasbourg to Chelsea. 30 million quid. Chelsea getting the sixth central midfielder that is. And then I think you're going to go Petrovic to Strasbourg. Reports suggest that he doesn't want to go back there, but I think he's going to go back there as their number one under Liam Rosenior, because I think they'll probably offer Strasbourg a reduced fee. And obviously, working in the group, these things simultaneously happen where there's benefits on either side. So, yeah, that's what I can see. And then Chelsea benefit with Diarra. Strasbourg benefit with Petrovic. That's kind of the way I see it going. But 30 million quid, they've slapped on him recently. I would say Strasbourg are probably going to get a reduced fee for that for him. So then you kind of look at Findama. I don't think that'll happen. We've talked about David Soria before. That's obviously not going to happen. So you're kind of looking now at certified. And we spoke about Ramsdale before. Nick Pope for me every day and 4 times on a Sunday over Ramsdale. I think Nick Pope saves you massively. He is a problem from penalties in terms of the opposition. In my opinion, he's a big goalkeeper, mass Premier League experience, Champions League experience. And I just look at Nick Pope and I think that is a game changer for Leeds United. Only 32 years of it, 33, he must have just turned, but 33 years of age. You can get him on a 2-3 year deal and he'll still be top of his game. Goalkeepers can go to 38, 39 nowadays. And I think Nick Pope, when you look at him right now, I don't think there's a I mean, Newcastle fans will tell you that since he's had his shoulder surgery, he's struggling a little bit on that left-hand side. When I've watched Nick Pope, I mean, he was in the cup final, wasn't he? And he was exceptional, and that was very recently. So Nick Pope for me would be, even though he's sort of 5 years older than Ramsdale, 6 years older, I think he is actually. I think there is a goalkeeper in there who provides everything that Leeds United need. I think we're going to go over a press this season, so he provides a lot when it comes to a direct goalkeeper. I don't need a goalkeeper who's pretty and can pass out from the back. I don't need that, and I'm hoping that Leeds United are going to adapt their style where we're actually going to be going over the press a little bit when we're getting absolutely hounded into our own half by opposition teams, which they will do because they will have seen Leeds last season and know that Leeds like to play out from the back. So we will get pressed out wide and via our 2 centre-backs. So that's why you need press-resistant players centrally as well. Even if your deep line players picking up the ball like Tanaka and being able to vertically play the ball. And I just think Nick Pope gives you a little ray of options in there as well. I think his mid-range passing is fine into that midfield above that initial press, that attacking press phase. And I think his long passing is really good as well in terms of that knock onto that physical guy. I think it's perfect. And I think you hit the spine and you go out and get someone like Nick Pope, you hit the spine, you bring Jaka Bijol in, argument's sake, you bring in someone like Diarra, supplementing with a long staff, and you put someone up front in the likes of Rodrigo Muniz. You can't do with Leeds. Look, the bookies odds are we're going down, right? And that's what everybody thinks, we're going down. You've got to at least give yourself that fighting chance. And by bringing in players of that caliber, the 49ers will have done their job because you can't big up sustenance and big up certain, profiles which are going to complement Leeds in this relegation battle than players like that. Nick Pope in a relegation battle is exactly who you want. You got to think about that. This isn't Nick Pope in Newcastle. This is Nick Pope there's going to be raining shots down on Pope. We're not going to be controlling a lot of games. He's going to have to be stable, calm, and assured in those situations as well. So I think he'd be a brilliant addition. I think it's someone who right now, 10 million quid last year of his contract, they've got to go all out for him. They've got to go all out for him. I think it is good value for money. He's sticking on a 2-3 year contract. Fine. Leader, experience. It's perfect for me. It is perfect for me. So yeah, that's who I'd be going with, and that's the difference. I think that's the difference. And Dan, just to shout out your super chat, mate. Do you seriously think that we could sign Nick Pope from Newcastle? Yes, yes. I think this is who Leeds are going to sign. I think Leeds are going to get Nick Pope. Okay, I've said it on our Patreon chat. You can go find it. You can go find it if you fancy joining our Patreon chat. Shout out to Daniel Agard as well, who joined the chat yesterday. I think we've got about 200 people in there now. But yeah, for me, he's the goalkeeper. He's the one you go for. Good handler, good kicker, fine kicker, and effectively, initially, biggest important thing, he is very good at keeping the ball out of the sticks and very good at demanding his area. That's what I want. That's what I want. So, Connor, do you still think we're in for Muniz? Whether we moved on? I've got £10. I've got £10 in. Who wants Nick Pope for £10? Shout out to you, £10. Hold on, we'll get the M in there. God, you guys are very thorough, aren't you? There we go. 10 million quid. You know what I mean? £10. I hope you're right, Connor. He's perfect for what we need. Yeah, I think when you are trying to survive, Nick Pope is perfect. You know, he's played in a Daesh system before as well, hasn't he? He's played in a team who's effectively utilised that low block, which I hope leads his adaptation strand is this year. I hope Daniel Farke is going to be pragmatic in that respect. And if he is pragmatic in that respect, you've got Jaka Bijol. Let's say you go out and get someone like Gabriel Goodmanson, who's effective in a low block as well. And you've got Nick Pope. It facilitates what we need. This is what we need. Personalities and profiles. Exactly, Elliot. Lee, what I'd say about this is I've heard this a lot. And what I will say to back Daniel Farke is, and this is going to annoy Kingy, but reports saying Farke is not. Let's look at the other side of this. If he doesn't change his style of football, we're going down. Fact, we're going down unless we bring in, unless our recruitment is next level and everybody hits the ground running, and we get no injuries, and playing out from the back is we're fantastic with regards to that, and it works in every sense. Brilliant. But I don't think we'll do that. I don't think we'll do that. And I think Farke knows that it'd be suicide, absolutely suicide. And I think this has all come from the Nemetra interview, of which if you actually played the Nemetra interview a little bit further on, mate, which I managed to do, Nemetra was saying in there as well, but there is an understanding that Leeds will have to adapt in some games. If you have seen this interview, do you think Nemetra is going to come on and say, you know what? I've had a chat with Daniel. I've had a chat with Danny Boy. Oh, he spoke to me about his sausage. And he said, yeah, we're going to play in the low block every week. We're going to defend for our lives. The reason we brought Jaka in, the reason we're looking at Nick Pope, the reason we're looking at a big, burly, 6'5" striker who can hold the ball up, is physical and athletic, but primarily to get us out a bit of SHIT, is because we're going to be playing in a low block. Be pragmatic. It's not exactly the conversation you want to have with the new signing, is it? Behind the scenes, there will be an understanding. If there's analysts and people with brains behind the scenes, they will know that there has to be adaptation. You know, there has to be adaptation. And if there's not, there's literally, we can use the last 6 teams for so many conversations. The gap between the Premier League and the Championship. We can talk about the player standard. We can talk about the managerial standard. If you want to take 2 things out of the last 2 years when it's come to those six teams, there's 2 factors here. There's 2 people right here who have been massive contributors to some of these teams going down. Burnley, Vincent Kompany, Southampton, Russell Martin. If they are not using those 2 as case studies, why did they go down? What was the problem? And why do we need to adapt? Then we will go down very, very quickly. So I think there will be an understanding. I think there's a lot of intelligent people at Leeds. And I think there is a notion and an understanding that Leeds have to get to that other side of the coin when it comes to not being ego driven, not thinking we can do it better than the rest, and actually respecting the Premier League enough to change your style of play for me. Connor, Burnley fan here. Nick Pope, best I've seen since watching Burnley and seeing Heaton, Hart, Robinson, Trafford, etc. And his kicking is awful. That's his only that's his only weakness. Would be a class sign. And do you know what? I don't think it's too bad. I've watched a lot of games with Nick Pope this season. I think it's because there's a new wave of goalkeeper right now who are all central midfielders in terms of ability to play with the feet. So I think Nick Pope almost gets over, you know, he's kind of like put into the bottom barrel when it comes to that. And there's a lot of discussion about, distribution from the back. Now, it feels like goalkeepers right now are not even keepers anymore. They're not even goalkeepers anymore. The primary function is to play out from the back. So naturally, when Nick Pope's not the best at playing out from the back, I think that's going to get focused on. There's a couple of games of which I saw his distribution to to Trippier and the left back. I don't know who it was on that left hand side. It might have been Dan Burn at that point, or the left sided player. It wasn't great, but I don't think Leeds are going to be doing that, mate. If Leeds are passing out and playing out from the back consistently, I think we're in a bit of trouble, and he can do that to a basic level for me. Aiden's in the building, member for 17 months. Shout out to you, mate. Aiden, I'm not sure for political reasons I can read that out. I'll probably get banned. But shout out to you, mate, for being a member. Rob says, hey up Connor, reports from Chelsea saying they'll loan one keeper to Strasbourg and sell another of their four first teamers. Petrovic not going on loan again. Yeah, mate, I don't think he will go on loan again. I think he will be going out as a permanent. Yeah, I think that will happen. So, yeah. Hugo Bueno. We've mentioned this guy as a signing for Leeds in the past. Had a really good season at Feyenoord. Wolverhampton Wanderers' second option to Ryan Aït-Nouri, who's obviously moved on to Manchester City for 40 million quid. Bueno's apparent valuation is around 10 to 15 million quid, and reports are suggesting this morning that Leeds United are against Feyenoord, and they're trying, according to Birmingham World and a few sources down there as well, Leeds are in the race with Feyenoord to test Wolves' resolve. And apparently now, because Feyenoord and Nottingham Forest are in the picture, Leeds' focus on Hugo Bueno has gone up. It's heated up, according to the Birmingham World article. Interesting in itself. So we come full circle. Okay, Aiden. Sorry, mate. I didn't realize. Yeah, okay. It's just saying that word now, mate. I don't know if that's going to demonetize me. But yes, he's playing in Iran. That's good. Okay, let's leave it at that. Ryan Kent is playing in Iran. I've no idea if that's true, but if it's true, fair play to him. And let's leave it there. Okay. Let's leave it there. Okay. Good age indeed. Good age indeed. Let's get into a few of your comments. Over 1,200 of you in the building, everybody. Let's slap a like on the video. Really appreciate that. Chris says, we finished the season with Fabregas. I can feel it in my bones. Totally agree, mate. Farke needs to adapt, and I think he will. Pope over Ramsdale if he wants to come. 100%, mate. Let's hope so. James in the building. Morning, mate. His experience at Burnley is exactly what we need, a match winner who will boost our survival hopes. Mate, don't let me forget what we've been talking about as well overnight, because I will forget. Michelle says, hi, Connor, late here, but finally catch a live 4:30 a.m. here when sadly alarm goes off for work. Oh, I'm sorry. Michelle, if it helps, Michelle, I was up at 4:30 as well this morning. You've got things to do. I needed to get back for the rumour mill. And you guys were all upset because I was off kilter. I wasn't in my 10 a.m. I can only apologize. But you got something to do, and your mind's in overdrive. So I'm there. We've got a video filming on the second channel in a couple of hours. I'm writing down ideas for that. I'm trying to get this, compartmentalized, and I always try to do a bit of a structure for the room mill every morning. So yeah, it can be chaos. What position do you think will come through the door next, Con? I think we will go for. I think we will go for, obviously, centre back. I think Jaka's going to come in imminently. He is in the building. I think next is going to be left back. That's what I think. And then maybe a goalkeeper. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. JBL says, not sure Farke is capable of adapting. Well, I guess we'll know, mate. Aiden, I'm not sure you're right here. I'm going to have to check you out, mate. I don't know if I'm getting duped here. Where is Ryan Kent playing? Ryan Kent is he's not playing. He plays for Seattle's. Aiden, I had absolutely no idea where he was playing. You've absolutely killed me. He's at Seattle Saunders, mate. That's shocking from you, mate. Shocking from you. Trying to dupe me. A member as well. Flipping out. Terrible from you, mate. Thank God I checked that one out. I trusted you. As a member, I trusted you. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at this moment in time when it comes to it. So, Brett says, hi, Connor. Exactly, Mike. Exactly. Shocking from a member to be like that. Trying to dupe me out like that. Trying to get me in trouble as well. Naughty. American here says, Nick D'Amico. Nick's got the best, right? We found the best name. Bowden, you've been done in. Nick D'Amico sounds like a gangster. Nick D'Amico sounds like he should be starring in the new 2.0 version of The Sopranos. Nick D'Amico, American here, been following Leeds since 2016 and finding this channel has been a game changer. Also, screw Aronson, selling for a bag of balls. How about that? I have Nick. if you're an Italian from New York City, mate, I think I've nailed you. I've absolutely profiled you to death there, mate. And have you got the personality? That's my question. But yeah, shout out to Nick D'Amico. Okay, let's Dominic says, how dare you have a life and work hard for us, Connor? Don't let it happen again. I know, mate. But shout out to you, Nick D'Amico. I really hope, Nick, I've not offended you there, my friend, but thank you so much for being around here, mate, and hopefully you find it informative and not too much of a PISS take, which I'm not really. So I kind of want to see in the comments afterwards if Nick is from New York, if he is not an Italian. I want to see it, mate. And yeah, let me know in the comment section below. I've absolutely no idea where I'm still live. This is supposed to be an informative contribution to your Luggols. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much. You start breaking my balls, Connor. So I'm sorry. What am I doing? I'm supposed to be gaining subscribers, not veering them away. He's from Boston. Is that it? Have I got you? Nick, have I got you? From Boston. Selling for a bag of balls. Are you from Boston? Mate, if I, obviously it's not New York City, but Boston, I'll take Boston. That might have been more of a Boston accent anyway. There you go, guys. Styling and profiling. Shout out to Ric Flair. Okay, everybody, make sure you like, you comment, and subscribe. I'm going to be back here at 10 a.m. If you want a bit of bonus content, head on over to the Patreon. If you want a bit of, a little bit more general content, make sure you're heading over to the second channel. Link in the description below. It's been an absolute pleasure. I have the best subscribers on the net, and there's about 60% of you watch these videos who aren't subscribed. You know what to do, everybody. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, comment below. My name's been Conor McGilligan. This has been One Leeds. This has been The Room Mill.